welcome to episode 4 of the thing that we do sometimes, like once a month. Now, it should be stated that we did our first 3 episodes, I feel like in 4 weeks, and then
Yeah.
we had like 7 weeks off.
Then we just took 2 months off
Straight up.
just to recoup, you know.
I
You were
knew,
busy.
yeah, I knew
You had
ZBR
a lot
Fest was
going
coming
on.
up, so that was one of the reasons why we kind of packed it in at
Yeah.
the start.
Yeah.
And then I've just been in catch-up mode for the last little while.
I'm sure, and that's why I didn't want to push it too much because I'm sure you had a lot going on, especially since you had to travel for it. It's a whole logistics thing, so totally get it. You're a busy man. I'm lucky to have any of your time, my friend.
Oh, dude, I feel the same way about you. That's sick.
Awesome. Well, I think that's why it works out so well.
All right, so why don't you introduce your new friend, known as T-shirt?
Oh yeah, so this is a fire shirt right here. I expect to get a royalties check soon from the lovely Usurp Synapse. Hopefully, hook that up, Trav. Hook me up there, buddy.
How do you still fit into a medium? I hate you.
I shrank it a little bit. I tend to go for like a medium 1 shrink down. You know, that's kind of my T-shirt jam.
God damn you.
But dude, thank you so much. You sent this to me and it's fantastic. I got to rep, you know what I mean? I'm trying to rep my boys. You know, I'm repping right here, Level Plane. I'm repping Mike Williams, who drew the shirt. Oh, he needs his check too, dude. Mike Williams from the great label of Witching Hour. He drew this, and then also my boys at Usurp. So you need to hook it up.
Okay.
What's up? What's up with that cash?
Is there like is there a story behind the art in terms of like why it is the way it is? It's awesome. I was just curious.
Yeah, so Chris did it from Witching Hour, who I loved Witching Hour like forever, and we were lucky enough to do something with him later, so it was rad. But yeah, Greg just like knew Mike, and somehow it came up. I think actually it was probably from Usurp. I think he put out a Usurp thing before that on Witching Hour, and then he was probably like, "Oh, I'll do your thing." But we were stoked. Like before we saw it, like all of his packaging was so unique and creative and cool. So it was always like, oh, I can't wait to see what he's gonna do. You know, and he did a great job. It was fucking rad.
There's something I love about a yellow color scheme, and the red on the yellow is just so good. It's so good.
It's interesting that he went for that choice. It really pops out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if someone were to tell me it's a yellow shirt with red print, I'd be like, that sounds flashy.
Kind of random.
Then you see it, you're like, I can't look away.
It's awesome.
So good.
It's cool they did. It's cool they made a shirt out of that. It's really surprising. Really cool.
I bought 4 of them at once.
Hell yeah!
I need 1 for me, 1 for Josh, 1 for my wife, 1 for my son. And then one of my bandmates was like, "Get me 1 too," and I was like, "That was last night. I will ask if I can get you 1," but they sold out like immediately.
So they played, obviously, right? How was it?
Yeah, Usurp played the ZBR Fest 2024 pre-show. They closed.
Oh, awesome.
Were they second last? It was them and Meth. I can't remember what the order was.
Awesome.
18 minutes.
Wow.
Like 20 songs or something like that.
Wow. So that's actually perfect for the band that I'm bringing in today, my friend.
Oh,
so
wait, before we move in, I should say I went through the last episode stuff to a larger extent. So I actually went on YouTube and I grabbed that split and I broke it into MP3 tracks because I needed to have that shit because it's not on Bandcamp anywhere. So I'm going to do with the rest of their discography too, and then I'm going to review them on my blog eventually because
that's awesome.
Straight up, like that's the best thing you've shown me. That was like so up my alley. Like I think
Which one?
That was Remington West Triad.
Oh, Remington. Yeah, I knew you would dig that.
Yeah.
It's funny. When we talked about doing the podcast, like previously, that was the first band that I thought of. I was like, I wonder, like, that's the kind of stuff that I wanted to try to do, you know, kind of these sleepers that were great that just did a couple records, you know, and some great stuff out there.
It's interesting too because they're not on Bandcamp, so therefore they're not on Spotify. So like that's a great legit point. Very hard to find unless you know something.
You know what? Before we do this, let me just see if the one I'm doing is on Bandcamp. I would be surprised. Let me just see. I'll have some relevance here. Oh, they might. I think they do have a Bandcamp. All right, so they're a little bit out there, more out there than I realized. But that's cool. I'm down Bandcamp.
Sick. Did you end up checking out any extra of who did I show you? Senza. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was awesome. I think the last 2 are probably my favorites so far. But that was great. It was great stuff.
Yeah, sick. We can also say that the new Senza EP is at the pressing plant now,
Is
and
it really cool?
will be out in the fall. It is
Awesome.
much heavier. One might say a little less screamo and a little more like techie metal at times. Maybe even like
Wow.
there's like some guttural death growls and shit. So
Wow.
it's
Cool.
it's still very Senza. Like you don't listen to it, you're like, oh, this sounds like a different band. It's Senza, but
Right.
heavier and darker.
But I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. I always think bands should just, you don't want to stay the same. It should go somewhere, even if it's just slightly in a direction. Is it a what kind of format is it?
It's going to be a one-sided 12-inch with a
Dope.
silk screened B-side.
Oh, I love those.
Dude,
I love those.
It's black with a little bit of super light pink and super light blue. So it pops. It pops so hard.
Sick.
Yeah,
I love one-sided LPs. You can get creative with that shit too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Very stoked. So, yeah, I when that comes out and we're doing a podcast, I won't play it, but I'll definitely bring it up for everyone to go check out as they should.
What kind of turnaround is on that for at the plant? Like, when do you expect to get that?
It's like 3 months now. Like
wow.
Regular is 3 months. Used to be like 6 weeks to 2 months. Now it's 3 months, I would say. But for a while, it was over a year.
It was, yeah. I was hearing that for a while.
During the hard times.
Major labels. Yeah, the hard times. Yeah, I guess all the major labels are printing shit like crazy now. So
yeah, it was a trifecta. It was like, oh, lacquer plant fire.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, and then
true.
Oh, Taylor Swift, let's do 50 million copies. And it was like, oh God, no, we're all screwed.
Jesus Christ.
And we were.
That's ridiculous. The lovely, lovely group that I'm going to bring in tonight is the band Palatka.
Sweet. Okay, so I know of this band.
Palatka?
I have checked them out like 2 decades ago, and not enough to. Another one of those things where like I've probably heard like 3 songs, and those 3 songs weren't enough to make me delve.
Okay.
I feel like you're gonna show me the shit that I need to see.
I wonder what record. So
did they release a discography? I had the orange. It was like an orange 12-inch.
They had a red LP. They had a red LP.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Does it have a weird name like Uyo or something like that? Just a couple letters?
No. This is called The End of Irony, this LP.
Okay.
They're from Gainesville. Gainesville had such an incredible scene. Hot Water Music, Discount, blah, 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 Claremont. It just goes on and on and on. The guy that was in this band, Ryan, also worked. I don't think he started, but he also worked at No Idea.
Oh, okay.
So that was cool. And this was on No Idea, which was a phenomenal. I mean, they were one of the best indie labels ever, man. Just did it right, great stuff, great packaging, just really a phenomenal label in my opinion. So he worked there as well. And these guys went on to do a band with members of 12 Hour Turn called True North. Do you remember that band? I think they had one record on No Idea. Hot Cross did a bunch of shows with them, and it was awesome. Like, we really liked that band. They were really cool guys. It was cool for us because we were Palatka fans and 12 Hour Turn fans, so it was rad.
A huge 12 Hour Turn fan. If you'd pull that out, I'd be like, I know my 12 Hour Turn, my friend.
Yeah, okay, awesome. I love them,
Yeah,
and
amazing.
they were definitely friends, friend bands and stuff, because obviously 12 Hour Turn was on No Idea.
Mm-hmm.
Super political. All the lyrics were super political. They were famous for they play a song for 30 seconds and then they talk for 5 minutes in between the song. So they were that bad. They were notorious for it. Also, they would play like 10-minute sets.
Sick. So they played 3 songs and talk for 8 minutes.
Yeah, basically. And which was a thing back then. Like, that was, Jenny Piccolo they didn't talk in between songs, but they had short songs and play short sets. Later on, Combat Wounded Veteran did the exact same thing. So it was like a thing, and it pissed people off in Europe because they toured Europe and Europe, they want to see like an hour show. They don't want this this DIY bullshit. Like,
you came all the way here to play for 10 minutes.
And they're like, bro, like, you didn't even play. Like, what is this? So that was very funny. The LP sounds amazing. For this kind of music, it's one of the best mixes I think I've heard in a long, long time. Very genre defying. You hear a lot of influences. It's melodic, it's chaotic, the drumming's great, the screaming's cool, there's singing. It's all over the place, but in a great, great way. I mean, they jam all these changes in like a 45-minute song, a 45-second song. So that's really cool. The one song that I'm going to play here has a guest vocal from Allison from Discount, who is also in The Kills.
From Discount? Oh my God, I remember Discount.
Do you know The Kills? They're like a huge
I
band
don't know
in
The Kills,
UK.
but I know Discount from
Yeah, so they're
my
like
pop
a
punk
massive
days.
band. And she's like, you know, killing it in the real music industry, but she guested on this song, which I think was rad. So yeah, so that's kind of the background on the band, and I love this band like from the first second I ever heard them, and it honestly it sounds better now.
Oh
This
yeah,
sounds
aged
better
like fine
now.
Cheese.
It's unbelievable. I was Casey was here earlier. We were recording, and I was like, dude, when was the last time we heard that Palatka shit? I was like, we should pull it up. I haven't heard it in probably 10 years. Dude, we're both like, why is this so much better than I remember it? Like we already loved them, and now it's better. Like what the hell? So this is like a real special one for me. I love this band to death. This LP is one of the best LPs ever made.
Did you give a release year? What's the actual year?
So it's interesting you asked that. 99, which I remember it being earlier, but obviously it came out in 99. This was like the last thing they did. They did split with Asshole Parade previously. They were like a comp. They were a band for like 4 years, and it was like they were a college band. Like they formed at University of Florida. But just a real, like from that time, this is one of the jewels for sure for me. This is one of the best bands. They just did their own thing, you know, and the lyrics are super political. I can't wait to play this for you. It's fucking awesome.
Well,
so that's the background.
Oh yeah,
I might have set it up too much. I might have set it up too much here.
I kind of want you to shut up so I can listen to the song.
God damn it! So let me send you the link, because I have a very specific link that you can go to each song.
Oh, sick. Sounds like you could probably play 3 songs if they're all so short.
Yeah, you really could. Yeah, no, for sure.
You know what? I think both my songs are like a minute. So
really?
We're gonna, yeah.
Okay. I'll have to play 4 songs.
Hey, don't get crazy here, all right? No, that might be 2.5 minutes.
No, anyone listening to this, all 5 people listening to this right now, listen. When you hear this song, you need to go back and you need to listen to the whole LP. You have to do it. If you like even if you remotely like it, it is that good. It is that good. Okay. So I was gonna do the first song in the LP, and then the other one's like I'll figure out what number it is. It's like the 6th song or 7th song.
Okay, let's do the first song first, because first song on the album makes a whole lot of sense. All right.
Give it to me, son.
I was a good boy, and I listened to tracks 1, 6, and 7. So
Sick.
let's go through here. I listened to The State of 6 p.m. I listened to Palatka Kills Young Republicans, and I listened to Matured, You Bet. So The State of 6 p.m. Was a very cool way to get it going. I think it's strange when a band has a guest vocalist on the opening track, but for the album that I did, I put that song first. So go fuck me. So, you know.
That's awesome.
What a
No, I
loser.
totally agree. I almost feel like a lot of people go with like the best song is the first song. Like a lot of people go with that kind of theory. So they might have been going with that because it's fucking awesome.
I like it, but it's not the best song. But I could see that, like, if Discount was a big thing, then people would want to hear that song first. You know.
Yeah. She did a good job on that too. It's hard to guest vocal on people's stuff.
Yes, I agree.
People think it's easy. It's hard. It's awesome.
But yeah, like, I guess one of the first things it reminded me of was Book of Dead Names, like a more like playful version of that.
Yeah, more punk version.
Yeah, almost like 12-hour turn, but then take it even more punk.
Yeah.
Because it's not necessarily as I guess Book of Dead Names isn't that thick and heavy, but I consider 12-hour turn to be more playful and Book of Dead Names to be more direct, I guess.
Yeah. That's a good call.
Yeah, and this band kind of does both of those things. It's kind of like, oh, here's like, you know, like, here's your like straightforward, like, it's gonna hit you in the face part, and then like we're gonna dial it back and we're gonna do some like little like semi-noodly shit, which I thought was very tasteful and made it harder to pinpoint who they sound like, which again, that's a good thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I totally agree.
When I heard Palatka Kills Young Republicans, that was probably my favorite track in terms of the sound. I really liked the vocals in particular got a lot like heavier, I feel like, on that one. And then the last one, Matured You Bet. I love the lyrics and like the whole like the whole thing about like being self-involved group of people at a party listening to like
that's awesome.
Indulgent like rock music or something like that, and then at the very end he's like I hate myself and I hate rock music or whatever it was, and I was like, that is so sick.
It's so good. It is so good. That melodic part at the end with all the melodic chords, I just love that. Like, how do you think of that? Just throwing that at the end of that song, I just thought was so cool.
Yeah,
I agree. I love the way they end that.
Yes, I think it made it ended up being the most memorable part of all the 3 songs that I listened to was like the ending of that. I was like, fuck yes.
Yes.
Fuck yes.
Totally agree. And that's why I wanted to play that one, because I totally agree. It kind of just has a great vibe, you know? It's like a vibey one.
Yes, it definitely does.
If they tried to record that again, it wouldn't sound as cool, you know? It was just captured magic, you know?
Yeah. No, that's
awesome. That's awesome. All right, cool. Well, that's a success in my book.
Yeah,
Sounds like you dug it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna check it out too. And I saw they also had something popped up on my feed that said they had a split with End of the Century Party too.
Yes, that's what. Did I say Asshole Parade? I think that's what I mean.
Oh, it wasn't 2 splits. It was just the one.
My bad. I think they actually might have done 2, but you're right. The LP is End of the Century Party. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is cool because they sound totally different than them.
Yes.
What did you think of the recording?
It sounded like the era, like the time it was recorded. Like, so
I was impressed. I was impressed with it.
God, what's that one band name? Not John Henry West. What's the person's name? Are they from Britain? God, what is the fucking name? I know
Bob Tilden.
Thank you.
Bob Tilden.
Yeah,
I love Bob Tilden.
It almost, I think that's like the softer side of it, or like the more like noodly-esque side. I think maybe that's what it was reminding me of. But you know what? I've only ever heard like the BBC session thing, which seems like it's not the one to listen to.
Session?
They had some live thing, and like that's what I have on my computer, and I'm like, I feel like I should get the recordings.
I loved that band so much, because it was different and nobody knew shit about them. Like, I think there's stuff now on YouTube. Like, I think you can find live, but like at the time, we're like, who the fuck is this? Like, who the fuck is this? Like, it was great.
It's so different. And that's so good. That's one of the reasons why I kind of immediately gravitated towards it.
I love that.
And I was like, oh, shit.
The reason I brought up the recording is, first of all, it sounded better than I remember it, but it's really cool. There was a guy named Rob McGregor who was from Gainesville, and he recorded so much of all this stuff. And he did like metal stuff, hardcore stuff, punk stuff. Like he did almost everything out of that area, and he did a phenomenal job on it. I mean, I Hate Myself, 12-Hour Turn, True North, Against Me. It goes on and on and on.
Jesus
As Friends
Christ.
Rust. And he did it. He was just like the guy, and I just thought that was really cool. Like, wow, really held up. Sounds phenomenal. I mean, Red Scare. This guy did a ton of stuff.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
dude.
That's
Dude,
insane.
he recorded Reinventing Axl Rose by
shit, Against Me. Yeah.
So
kind of a big
cool.
album.
yeah. I wanted to give him props because I think he did a phenomenal job on it. He's a great engineer. So well done, sir.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Dude, I'm so stoked you're into it. That's awesome.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely dig it. As soon as I the song started, the first one, I think I was like, who does sound like Book of Dead Names? I'm like, I like it.
No, I think that's a great call, and I wasn't thinking that at all. But I think the drumming probably is the most probably similar. Like it's just chaotic but controlled.
Yeah, I would have to go back because it wasn't obvious. It wasn't obvious enough. It wasn't obvious enough for me to like pick out what it was.
That's
like,
cool.
Was it the vocals or was it this? So I'm gonna have to
yeah.
go back. I also haven't listened to Book of Dead Names in well over a decade as well.
Dude, me either. I love that band. And Song of Zarathustra, they were the shit too. Kind of the same. I think they were like the same band. It might just be Travis. I don't know, but awesome call, man. Yeah, I'm gonna listen to that later too. I gotta re-listen to Book of Dead Names.
I have that.
That was dope shit.
I think it was the last LP. What was that called?
I can't remember.
It looks like a book or a Necronomicon or whatever.
I think they did a split 5-inch with Jerome's Dream.
Yeah, that sounds right.
On Witching Hour, which is like, of course.
Yeah, that's like I said, that sounds right.
That sounds exactly right.
Even if that's a huge lie, you can tell anyone that, and they would fucking believe it.
I can picture it. I think it has like a dog face on it. I mean, there's so many records, especially when you're thinking back 20 plus years. But dude, I mean, that's the whole point of doing this, though. I think it's important to like the stuff that holds up and is cool. Like, I think should be celebrated because that was a cool time. And not everything holds up, but I think the stuff that does is I really do feel like is up there with anything,
Yeah, it makes you appreciate it even more too. You're like, damn, like this is even better than I remember it being. Like,
that
and like, rarely happens.
You're right. Very rarely. Like, and the other thing is like, dude, they were doing all this stuff because they wanted to and they enjoyed it. There was no money. There was probably no even clout. You just were doing shit at college because you wanted to not be bored, So the intention was so pure and good that I think that's important, right? Like, to me anyway, I think that's cool. Like, I don't know these guys, I don't really know, but it's not like they were like, dude, we should make an LP and like go on the road. That was not what it was. They were just having fun with a cool thing, And I love that. I think that's the best music comes from that,
This will be like an interesting switch because I was also thinking that like I hear this is more like 5 years ago. I would hear people be like, I can't listen to old screamo because it's like not recorded well or whatever, and because I started with that stuff, it just sounds like
like our era shit or before us, like Indian Summer style or.
Yeah, just like even like early Neil Perry, like the first 10 songs or whatever. Like that kind of like semi-washed out, like but I would even see, like I don't think that kind of stuff is bad, especially because when I got into screamo, like that's what it sounded like. There weren't, like, when I listened to your discography, you could totally hear the progression of your production and recording and everything.
Yeah, that's a good call.
So like I think it's easy to see or hear, I guess, when you look at like a discography like that, because like you literally like track 1 compared to track 40, holy shit, there's a huge difference in like everything, literally everything.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
I think it's hard for some people to listen to the older stuff and like not look past whatever the recording differences are. Like everything nowadays is maxed out too.
Yeah, because the recording has such a big emphasis on the delivery of it and how you're taking it in. So if you don't like certain aspects of a recording, there's like here's I love Pantera, I don't like the kick drum. I hate the way the kick drum sounds. So it's like I can only take so much of it. If they had the kick drum that I liked in my head better, I'd probably listen to it nonstop. So I
Mm-hmm.
do think that's a fair point
I guess
in
it
a way,
depends
you
on
know.
how shitty the recording is
Yeah, there's
as
some
well.
pretty bad stuff. I mean, you go back and listen to some of those stuff from the '60s, like the like some of the big hits. They sound horrible. The
Oh yeah.
recording's terrible. It just doesn't matter. It's just so good, you know.
Yeah, see that's what I was gonna say. I feel like for myself, I can look past unless they're like absolute garbage recordings. I
Yeah,
can't hear what
yeah,
they're like I can usually
yeah.
tell like, oh shit, like I want to go see that band live. Because imagine that like now, 3 years
That's
after
a good
this like
point.
shitty recording, like, oh my god, it's gonna
Yeah,
sound
that's
so
a good
much better.
point.
So I'll use this to bring us into to my band because I feel like
Cool,
this is the
cool.
bridge here. So this band, maybe they're 15 to 17 now, but when they released this album, they were all 14 to 16 years old. So they're like
Right now?
stupid. They're 15 to 17 now, I
Oh,
think. But
holy
this came
shit.
out in
Okay.
2023 and they wrote it when
Whoa.
they were
All
14 to
right, I'm
16
stoked
years
to hear
old.
this. I'm stoked to hear
Um,
this.
Not only that, but the guitar player pretty much records like a ton of screamo bands on the West Coast nowadays. So
Okay.
he
Like
is,
he's the engineer for this stuff?
yeah, because they don't really
Cool.
have anyone, and he
I love
probably
it.
is. He's probably doing it for almost free for a lot of these people because he just loves the music.
That's
Which,
cool, man.
that's definitely so shout out Tate. So Tate St. Clair, the guitarist of this band I'm going to play. Like he is very. They're all active, but he does like so much like ridiculous stuff for the scene, and it's kind of like the guy you were talking about, recording everything that was kind of happening in
That's
Florida.
cool.
This guy's kind of doing something very similar out on the West Coast, and with the explosion that is currently happening of screamo out there, with especially young kids, like he's in the right place at the right time for sure. Uh,
Wow.
so, so yeah, like the singer is like 15.
I'm totally
Um,
unaware that there's like a new scene in
Dude,
California with young kids. So
dude,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
one could argue it's bigger than it's ever been, and they're
What
all these
area of
like
California?
uh
All over?
yeah, I don't really know my California. So
Okay,
I
okay.
just see, oh, new screamo band. Oh shit, this sounds sick. Where are
Sure.
they from? California.
Okay,
It
gotcha.
always
Okay,
ends up being there.
I was just curious. Okay, very cool.
And they're all almost all of them are like 20 or under in terms of like all of the bands. They're all
I
like
love that.
crazy young.
I love
Uh
that.
so and like, some of them listen to old screamo. Like this band is very influenced by Phoenix Bodies, Neil Perry, Joshua Fit for
Huh.
Battle, like all of that
Okay,
old
wow.
stuff. Like they know their shit. And then other bands have kind of just fallen into the screamo sound, much like I'm sure the screamo sound was initially born anyway, where no one
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, I'm going to try to sound like this
Yeah, no,
band that
yeah.
hasn't existed yet, right? It just kind of happened, and I think it was because of not knowing a ton about your instruments or playing, and just like not caring and just like doing the thing.
That's
Uh,
cool.
so like the resurgence is happening right now and maybe started in 2021, maybe. Yeah, it's post COVID. I'm gonna say. I feel like right after COVID, the California. I'd be
That's so
curious.
funny to think about.
I'd be curious to like ask them about like 2019 and early 2020. Was that
Yeah,
crazy too, or
they
was
were
it
probably
literally
doing
COVID?
pop punk bands then. You know, they're probably doing like Paramore
Yeah.
type shit, like us. You know, I was doing pop punk before this shit.
There you go.
That's cool, man. So I'm very stoked to hear this. That is
So
very interesting to me.
what we'll do, this band is called Onewaymirror, as one word. So like one way mirror.
Never heard of them. Love it. I
Um,
cannot wait to peep this.
they also played ZBR Fest this past year in the downstairs floor, and they were amazing. I met like one of their dads. He was like super chill and nice and everything.
Okay,
So
so first question: did you have you ever heard him before? I mean, have you ever seen him before?
I'd seen live videos,
Okay, but you
so
never saw
kind
him.
of, but no,
Okay,
because yeah, I hope to see them
and
much more soon. But go
have
ahead.
you worked with them, or you plan on working with them?
Yeah, we helped release the 12-inch self-titled that I'm gonna play you songs from today.
Sick,
And by the time this comes out, it's either just before or just after
cool.
their new 7-inch comes out. So it's
Okay,
actually a 7-inch that is even better than this LP. Like I remember being like,
very
this is so
cool.
good, dudes. And then I got the 7-inch songs, and I was like, holy fuck, you
And
guys got really good.
the dude in the band records and stuff too.
Yes.
Mixes it, produces everything. I can't wait to hear this.
I think he does most of that stuff. He might be
Okay.
passing some stuff off now
Sure.
later on.
Awesome.
Uh,
Cool.
There might even be like other people recorded, and sometimes he mixes and masters. I have to go check.
Awesome. I was just curious.
Yeah, I see his name all over the place. He really is like he's a little Josh.
I can't 100%. Dude,
he's a little baby
what's
Josh.
up, bro? I like it, man.
There you go.
What's up, Benjamin Franklin? This is awesome, man. I can't wait to check this out. For some reason, it rings a bell, but it might be from like through your Insta, maybe. Like I saw something. Could that be possible?
They were on the fest poster as well, right? So like if
cool.
you looked at the bands, you would have come across that name as one of them.
I'm so stoked to check this out. I hope I like it.
I don't think you're gonna hate it. So I'm gonna actually kind of flip it on you. I'm gonna play the Not Crazy song first. Most of her stuff's very fast and just like
awesome, just
like a slap in the face, or maybe like many slaps in the face. But I'm gonna start with one that shows that they can do like, God, I don't even know who I'd liken it to. Maybe like Caught in the Fall or like later Mohinder or something like that.
Okay.
Okay. But
well, you're setting them up right now, Benjamin Franklin.
Scratch that last one. Scratch that.
One of my favorite bands of all time.
Very bass heavy. It's very bass heavy. That's great. But again,
that's awesome.
14 to 16
and I love how young they are, man.
Exactly.
That's so rad.
Yeah, it makes me so excited for the future of screamo. Imagine what they're gonna sound like. They've been playing together for like 18 months, 2 years at like max 2 years. And this was written after 1 year.
Can I look up where they're from? Because that for some reason my brain makes a difference.
No, you're your U.S. geography too. I'm like,
I've
seen Pomona come up once.
I am a geography nerd. Like I love maps and shit.
I'm just gonna go to their Bandcamp because it should say, unless it just says California.
The California scene was very specific with the sounds. Like the San Diego thing was a thing,
L.A.
right?
Onewaymirror is L.A.
Awesome.
But I feel like it's all over California. I feel like it's
cool.
It's not.
Okay, cool. That's dope. That's dope. It makes sense with the internet. You know, it's not so regional anymore like that. So
very true.
Fuck yeah, man.
We'll start with I'm gonna play 3 songs. We'll start with just this first one that kind of is much slower and only kind of hints at the speed twice, and then we'll listen to 2 other songs after we talk about your initial feelings here. So the first song we're gonna listen to is "No, I'm Not a Thief, I'm a Goddamn Minister."
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Not really what I expected in a way, but it was really cool. I really liked it. Uh, it was funny with the bass heavy. It sounded like I was kind of driving the song along, which kind of reminded me of Mohinder in a way. So you were kind of on point with that.
That was
The
my
scream,
only thing
dude.
that I was
The
tying together.
screams are ridiculous, like
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like
That's
the one is it two guys screaming there?
it definitely
Definitely more than
sounds
one.
like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they utilize 2, if not 3 people sometimes.
Okay, okay. The one guy sounds so much like something from back in the day that it's making me nuts. I gotta go figure it out. But the scream, like that's some of the best screams like I've ever heard in my life. Like ridiculous. The other funny thing I noticed is that Will, so they recorded it and then Will mixed this one
Oh,
from
okay.
Orchid,
There you
which I
go.
thought was cool. There you go. It almost gave me like a DC vibe in the quieter parts. You know,
Oh,
not really a
yes.
specific band,
I
you
can hear
know?
it, like the tone in particular. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I totally
exactly.
can hear that.
Almost like oh my God. Of course I'm not gonna be Rites of Spring, kind of Rites of Springy, which I thought was cool. Because it all goes back to that anyway. That was the beginning of everything. So I think that was dope. And for young kids to have that kind of going on was cool. The heavy parts were super heavy,
Yeah.
like pretty ridiculous.
That's what like 90% of the band is. I did
Okay,
this as
cool.
like a, hey, look, they can do like a
That's
softery
awesome.
thing too, but
That's awesome.
it's generally not the case.
It's pretty heavy. I wonder what they're tuned to. I mean, it could be E, but it sounds heavier than that.
Yeah.
Sounds lower, you know?
There's that one part in particular, like it's kind of like slow, heavy part, then slow
Yeah.
again, and then heavy part. There's the heavy part in the middle, the first part,
Yeah.
that has like a great like like chugginess
Yes,
to
the
it.
chuggy
I was
thing.
just like, oh
I thought
man,
that was cool.
so
I thought that
good.
was cool too. And I thought that, like, I could just picture somebody just being like, fuck it, I'm chugging. Like, that wasn't even worked out. Some dude's just like, I'm chugging on this part. This is the shit. Like, I could see that happen and be like, yeah, sick, dude, keep that. You know?
100%, 100%.
That was awesome. And actually, it's so funny. That's the next thing I have written down. Sick, heavy riff. And it kind of gave me like an Indian summer vibe on the quieter parts too.
Yeah.
A
Yeah, I can
little
see that.
tiny, you know, just because it
Enough.
was
I
quiet.
feel
You know,
like
it was kind of just
more of the mood than anything.
yeah. I mean, for sure. But I think just with the amount of screaming going on, and like not a lot of bands really could pull that off. You know, do the quiet part and have that going.
Yeah.
And I thought the slight off time thing was cool too, because it kind of made it a little different and gave it a little different of a feel rather than just keeping it 4/4. You know. So I'm stoked to hear the next thing. I'm kind of blown away that these guys are so young.
Oh yeah, that was definitely my thing. I knew they were young because I saw the picture of the band, and I was like, I played them for Jen from In Loving Memory when she was on the podcast,
cool.
and she was like, "God
Awesome.
damn, that's amazing. That's does
cool.
sound like In Loving Memory, especially the earlier shit."
Sure.
Because they were
That's
influenced
true.
by them.
That's cool.
What was I gonna say?
Did they play that fest too?
Which fest? CBR Fest?
In Loving Memory? Did they play as well?
Yes. Oh my god, the arguably the best set. People went fucking ape shit. It was nuts.
That's awesome.
Yeah, stage dive, like, and they were like falling over each other. Oh my god, I can't believe.
I bet they were good live.
One of the guitar players, not Tanner, broke a string first song, played the rest of the set. He was like, I don't need the string. I don't fucking need it. I don't care. I was like,
that's
dude,
crazy.
You're amazing.
That's so weird.
I was
so
impressed.
Tanner was there?
Oh, it was my first time meeting him. It was
wow.
He was super, super nice, and just like
that is awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome, dude. I haven't seen that guy seriously in like 5 years or some shit. But Tanner's a guy. He's a character. Cool guy.
Yeah, he definitely like fell over at least twice while playing. Once half into the crowd, and then Jen fell on him.
Did you get like a Midwestern vibe from him, like Midwestern Heart of Gold kind of thing?
What are you talking about? With the cowboy boots and the cowboy hat,
dude.
And I'm friends with him on Facebook. It's all farms,
I could see him, like he's a farm guy now, right?
Yeah, all farms.
Yeah, because where they're from, like even the Iowa band, like it's just nothing out there, you know. It's just all farms and shit.
I think Jen said, like, didn't he like grow up on a farm too? Like, hasn't he been like farm his whole life basically?
Yeah, and I think he's doing it now, which is pretty cool.
He definitely is doing it now, yeah, for sure. I wasn't sure if he grew up doing it.
Do you know did he mention where he lives now, or I was just curious?
I think he's still in Iowa, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, you could be right. No, that sounds right.
It's true. I could be.
Yeah,
Could be right. Could
in
be
living
wrong.
memory, I think they were technically from South Dakota, I believe. I could be wrong about that. And the other bands he was in were from Des Moines, so I think it was like it's the same scene, the same kind of scene.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, cool.
So
Song one, fire.
Now I looked at my messages here because I told this guy loves Neil Perry and like Joshua Perry.
Okay.
He's a huge fan. So
awesome.
I told him, I'm like, I'm going to play your band on the podcast I'm doing with Josh. And because this got pushed back 6 weeks, I was like, yo.
Oh, shit.
I was initially going to do this 12-inch LP that we just heard the one song from.
Right.
I'm like, I could premiere some tracks off the new 7-inch if you want. And he just responded and he was like, do it.
Really?
So we're not going to listen to the other songs that I had on this. I'm going to give you the B-side of the new 7-inch that no one has heard
That's being pressed right now?
It is. Tests have already been approved. The second set of tests have been approved.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that permission there, my friend. That's fucking dope.
Yeah. So what we'll do is let's break them up. We'll listen to one, then we'll listen to the other. So they're both pretty short. They're like a minute and a half or something.
Okay. Cool.
The first one's called First Song, but it is the 4th track. And the 3rd track is called 4th Song, just to fuck you up. But we're listening to First Song, aka track 4, B-side, first track.
Okay.
Let's do it. Lay it on me.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, dude, this was awesome. This was sick. I'm stoked for your 7-inch. I'm stoked for your 7-inch. So I love the intro. Like, it's a super like small thing he did there, but they're having fun with it. You can just tell right away, like they're just having fun with it. I love the intro. Little quirky thing, but it was fucking cool. Really tight. This shit was really tight. I wrote "This rules," so that's definitely a good note. Yeah. So the break with the guitar part.
Mm-hmm.
That's my shit. That's my shit.
It's so short too. Like,
that's what you got to do.
All of those things are so like minuscule. It's like 7 seconds. Bam, next part.
Yeah.
Like the breakdown at the end also is so short.
Like, yeah, but really cool the way they did. I really like how they kind of had a thing going, and then boom, right where you needed a change, they had the big change, and it was a good change, and it was melodic and cool. Brought you, drew you in, and then the double bass part, which again, like you can just tell they're having fun with writing the music, and like that's what it's all about for me. That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
No,
I was just gonna say there are influences in there that I'm hearing, and funny enough, like maybe like you remember that band Spread the Disease?
Yep.
Canadian band. Yep. Kind of reminds me of that kind of stuff. Some of the riffs, like some of the brutality.
Yeah,
like,
it's very
super heavy.
You're right. It is super down tuned. It's like you can tell
in a cool way.
Yeah,
like, it sounds less chaotic and more just brutally heavy, which I think is cool. And it's heavy.
The recording quality, you can tell there is better too. Yeah. Like you can hear less muffly, I would say, during the heavier parts. Did he record that? I assume so, but I don't know.
It sounded awesome. Really good.
No, it sounds really
good.
But
like the overall thing, like that was really cool, man. That was a really good job by them. I thought that was cool the way they had that middle part and then drew you out to this something different. It got heavy again, and I love the intro.
Middle part. So. Yeah.
I
All
love
right,
that intro. It's just cool. We're just dicking around. Let's do this cool thing. Like that's what it's all about, you know. Have
let's
fun
do
with it.
one more. Let's do one more. Let's do the closing track, which is, I think my favorite. Although fourth song is also really good. It's called "The
Cool.
Difference Between Said and Done."
Dude, awesome stuff. It's you got a great little band here, and it's kind of blowing my mind how old they are.
Yeah,
It kind of is.
totally. Like I said before, like you have to think they can only get better, and they're like not even where their
Yeah,
prime
yeah,
would
yeah.
be like age wise. So
Um,
like,
yeah. It's just I think the creativity's off the scale. It's a lot of it's little stuff, but like you hear it like the bass player will play like a really cool like just like almost like a degen thing underneath, you know, and then he goes melodic. Like I love that. The two guitar players are awesome. They're having fun with it. That's what it just sounds like to me. Like in the practice room when they're writing the songs, it seems like, dude, let's do this, let's do that. And that's why it's so fun. It's creative, you know. They're not just going through the motions. I really like the interplay between the guitar stuff. It's cool, and the drummer, dude, the drummer's awesome. Like I haven't said anything about the drummer. The drummer sounds awesome. You know, there's
mhm.
a lot of changes and a lot of very specific kind of accents in there. You know, and it's not easy to do that stuff. You know, it's awesome. It's so rad. It's
I'm
really cool.
I'm pretty sure this is all of their first band too. So I
Yeah, it's
think so. They've only been playing for like 2 years.
so so how does a band like say Neil Peart, like how do they even know that? I don't get that. Like how do they found it randomly on YouTube and like let's do something like this? Like
Yeah,
how do you
yeah.
find it when you're 14?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You follow my blog, and I've been pushing that down
Oh, okay.
throats for a
That's true.
decade.
Yeah. Okay. So they're like they found like your label and like that led it to that. Like I genuinely like I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah,
That's so it just blows my mind. You know.
it's very cool that like it's swinging around so hard right now with like this new group of
So weird.
people. So like
It's so weird.
the amount of like off the charts screamo that has already come out this year is just like more than any other year by far. Like it's crazy.
That is so. So, what do you think is driving that? Like all the bands getting back together? Like, is it just a
Uh
natural thing? It seems very. It's interesting to guys like me and Casey, like to see this resurgence of a thing that died out like 20 years ago. Which, okay, maybe the 60s had a revival in the 90s. Like it's a similar thing, but that's
mhm,
kind of mind blowing to think that equates to that. You know,
mhm.
it's so weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel
Like all
like
our shit's out of print. Like how do you find that shit?
you let me repress that shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. If anybody's gonna repress it, I think it's gonna be you. So don't worry about that, my friend.
Oh my god, makes so many people happy. You have no
Yeah,
idea
it's
how many
just
people
you
would
know,
fucking lose their minds if
it's
that happened.
it's blowing my mind how like difficult it is for people to have any kind of conversation about it, which is is almost funny. It's kind of comical in a way, but it's just like it seems to be impossible to send an email. I don't know, but maybe they just don't care. I don't know. It's funny. Me and John, the bass player from Neil Perry, like we kind of recently reconnected. We both are into birding, and he's like this incredible photographer. So like we've been relating on that. Yeah, he's a photography teacher in high school.
I knew he was a teacher. I didn't know it was a photography teacher. That makes a lot of
Art
sense.
and
Okay.
photography. Like, yeah, he's a super creative guy. And he's been doing it literally since the band. So he's been doing it that long. So we've reconnected a little bit like on other things. So hopefully it can lead to a conversation. You know?
Baby steps. Baby steps at 40.
So funny. Yeah, it's very funny. And then you got like Sasha doing like a world tour.
Yeah, selling out 1,000 capacity venues.
When is their Epitaph LP coming out? I mean, it's got to be any day now.
I believe they're recording something and it's coming out on Death Wish.
Oh, Death Wish. Okay, that's cool. Death Wish is dope. They're leaving the inside scoop.
I don't really hear much about Epitaph anymore.
Music, yeah. What's that?
I don't really hear, like, I grew up on Epitaph, so I totally know what you're talking about, but, like, I don't know if I'm just not in that sphere or if they're just not doing as much anymore.
Like, do you actively ever check out, like, oh, Epitaph, like, what are they doing? Like,
not anymore, no.
Is it on your radar at all? Yeah, no, I don't really either. They're, what is that band? Teenage Wrist? Do you know this band?
No.
Apparently, I don't know. They're an Epitaph band that somehow came on my radar that, other than that, I have no idea really. But Thursday, no.
No, they haven't done anything for me since they picked up Converge for like an album.
That Converge, that's what I was thinking.
That's it. That's all they've done for me in 20 years.
That is so funny, dude, thinking about that. Because for a while there, they were just, snagging up everybody.
Oh, wait. Did they release Soul Glow?
They might have. I have to look now.
I think that might be right. Because they signed to like a bigger punk label, and I was like, oh damn! I feel like it's Epitaph, which is crazy.
Now I need to look because
do it.
I think you're probably right. Bad Religion, okay, blah blah blah. I thought they kind of scooped up a lot of the bands that were kind of, like okay, so Every Time I Die, Escaped the Fate. So it's kind of it's hot water music. That's interesting.
Oh yeah.
Joyce Manor.
Okay. I didn't know they were. Yeah, I didn't know they were on Epitaph.
La Dispute.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Didn't La Dispute do a record with Greg? Am I tripping? I could be tripping. I think they were in that scene for a while, right? Weren't they in that scene for a while?
Their Vancouver EP came out like in 2008, which would have been before.
Okay.
When Level Plane was still going, it died in
like Pianos Become Teeth. Do you know that band Pianos Become Teeth?
Yep.
They're on Epitaph.
Oh yeah.
So so it wouldn't be that much of a stretch for me, but what do I know? But Death Wish is dope. That's cool. I'm very curious to hear that. I wish Greg was playing on it, the original drummer. He had a very, very specific style. And that LP, that HLP, like I'm drumming along. Like the drums for me the best part. So creative. Super creative.
I have no idea because the new stuff doesn't have Jamie either. It has Tom Schlatter instead.
Right. I forgot about that too, which is
who knows?
How is it Sasha? Like. Yeah. That's a great point. But Tom is a phenomenal musician.
Oh yeah.
And Adam is a great musician as well. He was like the original guy and he's back. And he was in a band called Instruction that was on a major label. And during Hot Cross, like we met up with them, and dude, it was like members of Quicksand. They worked with Bob Ezrin, who did The Wall. Floyd.
Who?
Like, yeah. So he was like kind of like he was like going for it, like in the real, in the real world of the music industry for a while. So it's cool to see him come back and do that too, because he's a really cool guy. So it's interesting. I'm stoked to hear it, but it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, my first question, like right away, and I could probably just ask Tom this, but I haven't. But like, do you just inject Tom into the current Sasha, or now that you've learned Jamie's riffs, does that play into how you write? Do you lean into that more?
Point. Yeah, I think you bring up a great point there. Is that subconsciously in his mind? or is that something he's thinking about, or is he just saying, "Fuck it, we're just writing music"?
Yeah. Will it make it better, or
it's
not as safe? I have
fascinating.
no idea.
It's fascinating. And Steve is a great drummer. He was a drummer of Onewaymirror, and it's great
yeah.
stuff. It's just, you know how music is, man. It's the chemistry of people 1,000,000%. You know what I mean? It's the some are greater kind of vibe. It really, not I guess every band, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it really is that chemistry that makes shit magic. So it's gonna be interesting. It might just be a different kind of magic. Who knows?
Yeah, the fact that they are still going and playing all these shows
It's pretty
makes me
rad.
think there's definitely something there, but how
You're
that
right.
translates
I think you're
to
right.
new music it will definitely be
Because I'm
anyone's
sure,
guess.
for sure, 100% going into it, they were like, all right, whatever, we're not writing new shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And at a certain point, you're like, damn, this is kind of sweet. Like, I think you're 100% right on that. Yeah.
Yep. Like,
that's funny.
It'll be interesting to see if Orchid writes new music, because, like, good Lord, was that, like, not
Can
even
I
a
be honest?
reunion?
I
Go
hope they
ahead.
don't.
Yeah,
I hope
okay.
they don't. That doesn't need to be replicated. Like, does it? I don't know. Are they gonna, go listen to Panthers? Like, that
Panthers is
was
sick.
the
Bucket
Red
Full of
Scare.
Teeth. Bucket Full of
Yeah,
Teeth released their
but
discography just
that
recently.
was Kip. That was Kip from Red Scare, who were dope as fuck. Like, that Red Scare LP is so good on Handheld Heart. And then it was Orchid, and then they made Panthers, and they were on a major. Like,
Yeah,
that
that
was what I'm
was
saying? Like,
very
if you're gonna,
surprising.
yeah, it was interesting. But I feel like that's kind of the progression. Like, you don't really need to see Orchid 20 years later. Why?
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing Orchid because I never saw them,
No, but
but
just
yeah,
like
like
writing
new
new music,
material.
like,
Yeah, it's
what
been
would it? I guess what it would sound like. Would it be Orchid? Can it be? I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird.
It's interesting to think because they've influenced people for more than 20 years. So
For sure.
you've had, like, for example, the ultimate screamo band, who literally was like, I'm just gonna write Orchid music because I love Orchid,
Yeah.
and, like, it sounds great. So, like, I kind
Yeah.
of have had Orchid for 20 years, just not exactly Orchid.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. True. True. And I mean, they don't have a lot of releases, but that is true. If they do, it'd be very interesting. I'd be surprised if they write new shit, but you never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole thing surprises me anyway.
Yeah.
Did you know that Unwound, and do you know that band Klickitat Aikatawi?
Yeah.
Yeah, so incredible. Like, they're doing a show like in a couple weeks or something. Like, what?
Klickitat's gonna do a show?
Klickitat's doing a show. Mario
Holy
better be in the
shit.
fucking band. If he's not the drummer, it ain't Klickitat. So I don't hear this bullshit. Better not be a replacement fucking drummer, dude. I'm telling you. But that's wild. And, like, dude, like, Unwound is one of my all-time favorite bands. I managed to see them on the last tour, and it was, like, so incredible. And, like, the bass player passed away. And I know they have a filling guy, and it's I think it's the guy from Carp. I could be wrong about
Oh,
that.
no fucking way.
I could be fucking wrong about that, but I think it's somebody that they know very well. But it just, I don't know, man. Is it Unwound?
You're such a purist, aren't you?
I guess, and that's whack. Like, I sound like such a douchebag.
Not necessarily. No. Because if it's not the thing that you liked before, that's valid.
I'm not even hating. I'm just asking the question. Like,
yeah,
is that
you're
why?
questioning,
Like,
for sure.
Is it like they just are stoked again and they just want to do it? Is it money? That would be a whack. I'm sure that's part of it. It's part of everything. But yeah, like, I don't know. I'm kind of going on a tangent, but I love those bands, and I just want to see them do something cool. I don't want to see them just, like, half-ass it and, like, go up there and play a show because, like, hey, we should play a show. Like,
I'm glad. I feel like I haven't seen any reunions fall flat.
Sure. You probably
except
see more than me.
There was the one. Was it where the guy had, like, a Nazi tattoo with the picture?
That was the one. That is so fucking funny. What was the Nazi? I don't know what this is.
It was it
That's
angel
so
hair
funny,
or
not angel hair?
It was one of those. Not Antioch. It was one of those, like, gravity bands, wasn't it?
Okay.
Heroin?
Wow.
Was it Heroin?
Did they do a reunion?
They were going to, and then they took a band photo, and people noticed that someone had like a
Nazi tattoo,
or like something like that, and then, like, everyone was just like, "Oh my god!" And then it just didn't happen.
My mind. You're blowing my mind right now. I need to look into this.
Yeah, please do a deep dive and tell me next episode. I think it's Heroin, but don't quote me on that.
Dude, I do think about this sometimes though. Like back then, politics were a thing, but like no one was ever like, "Oh, I'm Democrat, I'm Republican." Like that literally never was said once at a show back where I was from. Like thinking about it now, like how many people are Trump people from that fucking scene? Like,
Yeah.
dude, I think about it all the time.
Oh, really?
Dude.
Oh, damn.
Oh God.
I didn't know any of them, so I just
I hope
assumed.
not.
Because I
It
don't
has to
know.
be.
How can
If you're working in probabilities, like it has to be, man. And I just think about like, oh, I hope he wasn't. Like, I hope nobody from any of my bands better not be, dude, because that would be very disappointing.
That would be.
So, isn't that funny as shit? You're just like, oh, is he a Trumper? Fuck, that's whack. Like that was my boy, and now what? Like, I don't know.
Like I don't even know if I can talk to him. It implies so many things.
Family, like it's all good, whatever. But I'm just saying that would be. Isn't that funny? Like, oh, it's so different now.
That's
fuck, man.
It's kind of like when I started like doing the blog and stuff, and I started hearing stories from like past or whatever, and like hearing the bad things, and I was like, no, I used to just be like an outside listener, and all I had was music and people's names, and I'm like, oh, that person's in this band.
Yeah.
And then like you hear like someone's like, oh, that guy's a fucking loser, and I'm just like, oh shit. Like, oh, they did this and that. I'm like, oh, damn.
That's so funny. It is funny, man. You find out the drama and you're like, really?
Yeah.
I thought they were cool. But to think off the top of my head, I really can't think of anything from back in the day that anybody did that was like, really, dude? Like, you gotta get the fuck out of here now.
Yeah.
I really can't. Do you know the Coalesce story? Do you know Coalesce?
I know Coalesce, but I don't know the Coalesce story.
This is I have to tell you this story.
Do it. Let's finish on it.
And if I'm taking too much of your time, we could end it soon. But so the Wilkes-Barre Fest, 1997, I believe it was. Are you familiar with this festival at all? If you look at the bill, it's ridiculous, man.
Okay.
It was like one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. It was like legendary shit. Like every band is just a legendary band. So the final bill, like the end of the bill was like, I think it was like Converge headline, but it was like Coalesce, and then I believe Hot Water Music, and then Get Up Kids were gonna play. So it was sick, right?
We're gonna. Okay.
so Get Up Kids and Coalesce were boys, and they were on tour together. So fucking for some reason at the end of the Coalesce set, James Dewey's the drummer. I believe James. I think it was you. I think it was you. The drummer at the end of the set, for some reason, picks up the bass drum and just throws it at the end of the venue, and it just crushes some girl looking at vinyl. Like, just crushes, like, just destroys this girl, dude. And everybody's just like, oh my God. And it was, like, serious, dude. Like, she could have died. Like, he threw this fucking, like, I'm saying 30 feet in the air. Like, it was insane. And the whole fest, oh my God, the fest's gonna get shut down, this whole thing. So after, it was insane. He almost killed somebody. He just felt like throwing the bass drum. So that's basically the story. But right after that, Hot Water Music played, and they were like, yeah, that wasn't cool. And it started this huge drama because Get Up Kids played right after them, and they were kind of talking shit like, it wasn't that bad. Like, it was so crazy, dude.
That bad.
They weren't saying that, but like, they were trying to like, oh, we're here together, you know, that kind of vibe. And Hot Water Music was just like, whatever that was, like, was fucked up. And it was crazy, dude. This big drama scene.
Oh yeah.
Between all these bands. Like, it was so funny. But yeah, I'll never forget. Like, I think it's on video actually, because that was like a big fest. But yeah, he just crushed the dude. It was a woman. It was a girl.
Oh,
I've never seen like it. I've never seen anybody get hurt like that at a show before. So I don't know.
There's just so many times where you see someone like body surfing and you see them drop and they drop upside down and here's the floor and people catch them when their heads here.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you almost fucking died. So
Jesus Christ.
I see it every show. Oh my God.
That's brutal, man. That's brutal.
I don't want to do that anymore. I'm good.
And they're like, actually, Coalesce are playing with Cave-In soon.
Oh shit!
Like in Philly, yeah. I think like next week, my friend Ross is going or something.
Make sure he bolts down the bass drum.
Dude, it's crazy. And James Dewey, that dude he later was in Reggie and the Full Effect. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
That was his band.
Oh, okay. Oh wow.
That's him. And then he was in My Chemical Romance. They were playing keyboards.
I did not know that either. See, now you're filling all in all the blanks here.
But it's just honestly, dude, like it was so at the time, it was, you know, like scenes can get like super drama, you know what I mean? It was just like, oh my god, this is insane. It was so funny, dude. You should look up some shit from that fest. Like
I might have to go check it out. What was the fest called again?
Wilkes-Barre Fest.
Wilkes-Barre Fest.
There were 2 years, 97 and 98, but it was just like everybody, dude. Like the Locusts played, Jenny Piccolo, Hot Water Music, Ethel Meserve. Do you know that band, Ethel Meserve?
Oh yeah. I'm expecting you to say Boy Sets Fire next. I expected Boy Sets Fire would have played one of those.
They always, like, I played with shows with them probably 700 times with JFFB. Not that many, probably like 5, but like it was a lot.
Like, damn, Joshua had a lot of shows.
Like we were from Delaware, so they would help us out. But that's so funny. They probably did play one of the years. But yeah, check out the bill. It's just absolutely like a reversal, man. It just goes on and on and on.
Jesus Christ.
It was like everybody that summer was just like, yeah, let's all play shows together.
Sick.
Amazing.
I love when that
happens.
So
we gotta end it there. Gotta end it there because that's the the drop right there.
All right, well, everyone, make sure you go check out those fucking bands because they're sick. And oh, right, the Onewaymirror 7-inch is called "Everything Wants Me to Write in Cursive."
Yeah, dude.
And it will be out before the end of July because they're going on tour. So we'll
Are they coming to Jersey? What's up? They coming to the East Coast?
I don't know. Maybe. I guess I'll have to fucking
out, label guy.
put the tour poster on here. God damn it.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, let me know because I would like to check that out.
Beautiful.